First contact goes wrong. The silence of space was broken by the most massive display of power the solar system had ever witnessed. Dr. Elena Vasquez nearly dropped her coffee as the emergency alarms began screaming throughout Mars Research Station. The xenobiologist had spent 15 years studying the possibility of alien contact, but nothing had prepared her for this moment. "Elena, get to the command center, now." The voice of Captain Marcus Chen crackled through the communication system. Elena ran through the corridors of the research station, her mind racing with possibilities. When she burst into the command center, she gasped at what she saw on the main display. A fleet of alien ships, stretched across the darkness of space like a metal constellation. Each vessel was the size of a city, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly blue-black material that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The ships moved in perfect formation, their alien geometry both beautiful and terrifying. "How many?" Elena asked, her voice barely above a whisper. 250 confirmed vessels," replied Captain Chen, his usually calm demeanor showing cracks of stress. "They appeared simultaneously at the edge of our solar system 12 minutes ago. No warning, no gradual approach. They just materialized out of nowhere." Elena studied the tactical display, her scientific mind trying to process the implications. Their technology is beyond anything we've theorized. The energy signatures alone suggest power sources that dwarf our entire global output. "Dr. Vasquez, we need your expertise now more than ever," came a voice from the communication panel. Ambassador Sarah Mitchell appeared on the screen from her office in Geneva. "We're about to make first contact with an alien species, and we need to understand what we're dealing with." Before Elena could respond, the main display flickered. The alien fleet had sent a transmission. The image that appeared made everyone in the command center fall silent. The being on the screen was tall and imposing, with crystalline features that seemed to shift and change in the light. Its eyes were like pools of liquid mercury, and when it spoke, its voice carried an authority that had clearly never been questioned. "Primitive inhabitants of the third planet," the alien said in perfect English. "I am Overlord Kethma of the Nexus Collective. Your species has been evaluated and found suitable for integration into our empire. You will surrender unconditionally within 72 of your hours or face complete annihilation." The transmission paused, and Kethma's metallic gaze seemed to pierce through the screen. "Do not mistake this for negotiation. We have conquered 347 star systems. We have absorbed the essence of 1,000 species. Your resistance would be amusing, but ultimately futile." The screen went black, leaving the command center in stunned silence. Elena felt her heart pounding as the implications sank in. This was not the peaceful first contact scenario that scientists had hoped for. This was a death sentence for humanity. "Options?" Captain Chen asked, his military training kicking in despite the overwhelming odds. "We have 800 ships in the combined Earth Defense Fleet," reported Commander Lisa Rodriguez from the tactical station. "Most are converted mining vessels and research ships. Against that armada, we'd last maybe 15 minutes. Ambassador Mitchell's voice came through the communication system. "I'm coordinating with world leaders. The Security Council is meeting in emergency session. But Marcus, we need to be realistic. Those ships could glass our entire planet from orbit." Elena walked to the observation window, staring out at the distant stars where the alien fleet waited. "There's something else," she said quietly. "Their knowledge of our language, our culture, our technology. They've been watching us for a long time." "What do you mean?" Chen asked. They know exactly how to communicate with us, exactly what threats would be most effective. This isn't random conquest. This is a calculated harvest. Alina turned back to face the group. But that might also be their weakness. Over the next several hours, Alina worked with the greatest minds on Earth to analyze every second of the alien transmission. Meanwhile, General Rebecca Torres activated protocols that had been decades in the making. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, hidden cities that could house millions of people were being prepared for the worst-case scenario. Alina, we need your assessment, Ambassador Mitchell said during an emergency conference call that included world leaders from every major nation. Can we reason with them? Alina looked at her analysis data, based on their communication patterns and the casual way they discussed annihilation. I believe the Nexus Collective sees us as we might see an anthill. They're not evil, they're just so far above us that our lives have no meaning to them. Then, we fight, said General Torres from her command bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. We make them pay for every inch of ground. With what? Asked the President of the Americas. They have technology that makes our best weapons look like stone axes. Alina felt something stirring in her chest, a feeling she recognized from her years of studying evolution and adaptation. Actually, I think there's a third option. We warn them. The silence on the communication line was deafening. Finally, Captain Chen spoke. Alina, I think the stress is getting to you. Warn them about what? About us, Alina said firmly. They think they understand humans because they've been watching us. But they've been watching us during peacetime. They've never seen what we become when we're backed into a corner. Ambassador Mitchell frowned. Alina, they have ships that could destroy continents. What could we possibly warn them about? Alina pulled up historical data on her screen. In the last century alone, humans have survived 2 world wars, a global pandemic, climate disasters, and multiple near-extinction events. We've split the atom, landed on other planets, and created artificial intelligence. We've done all of this while constantly fighting each other. She paused, letting the implications sink in. They've conquered civilizations that were probably peaceful, probably advanced, probably rational. They've never conquered a species that learned to survive by being adaptable, ruthless, and utterly unpredictable. General Torres was the first to understand. You're saying we should tell them to leave while they still can. Exactly, Alina said. We give them one chance to walk away. Not because we're weak, but because we're offering them mercy they won't get if they stay. The debate that followed was intense. Some leaders wanted to surrender immediately. Others wanted to fight a hopeless battle. But eventually, they agreed to Alina's plan. Ambassador Mitchell would deliver humanity's response. To the Nexus Collective. 24 hours later, the alien fleet received Earth's reply. Ambassador Mitchell appeared on screens throughout the solar system, her calm demeanor masking the steel in her voice. Overlord Kethma of the Nexus Collective, she began. We have received your ultimatum. We appreciate your directness, and we will respond in kind. Humanity formally rejects your offer of surrender. She paused, and Alina could see the fire in her eyes. However, we are not barbarians. We are offering you this single warning. Leave our solar system immediately. Take your fleet and never return. We are giving you this opportunity out of mercy, not weakness. The transmission continued. You have conquered 347 star systems. You have absorbed 1,000 species, but you have never encountered humanity. Leave now, while you still can, because what happens next will be your choice, not ours. The response from the Nexus Collective was swift and predictable. Overlord Kethma appeared on screen, his crystalline features twisted in what might have been amusement. Fascinating. Your species displays a level of delusion that is almost impressive. Very well, humans. You have chosen annihilation. The alien fleet began moving toward Earth, their weapons charging with energy that made space itself shimmer. Alina watched from Mars Research Station as the largest military force in galactic history prepared to destroy her home world. All stations. This is General Torres, came the voice over the global communication network. Operation Deeproot is now active. All civilian populations to designated shelters. All military personnel to assigned positions. The aliens have made their choice. Alina felt a grim satisfaction as she watched the readings on her instruments. The Nexus Collective thought they were attacking a primitive world. They had no idea that they were about to discover why humans had earned the right to call Earth home after surviving everything the universe had thrown at them. Asterisk. As the alien fleet approached Earth, Alina made her final log entry. Personal log, Dr. Alina Vasquez. The Nexus Collective has rejected our warning. They believe they are hunting prey. They are about to learn that they have awakened something that has been preparing for this moment for 50,000 years. May their gods have mercy on them, because we will not. The first alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere, their weapons ready to eliminate what they saw as a minor inconvenience. They had no way of knowing that every human on the planet had just vanished into shelters and tunnels that had been prepared. For decades, they had no way of knowing that the seemingly primitive weapons pointed at them had been designed by a species that had spent its entire existence learning new ways to survive. Most importantly, they had no way of knowing that humans had taken their warning seriously. The Nexus Collective was about to learn the difference between conquering civilizations and tangling with a species that had evolved to fight everything, including itself. The war for Earth was about to begin, and the aliens had no idea what they had awakened. Asterisk. When Earth fights back, the first phase of the Nexus Collective's assault on Earth went exactly as planned. Overlord Kethma watched from his flagship as massive energy beams struck the planet's surface, reducing major cities to smoking craters in seconds. The bombardment was precise, devastating, and, by all appearances, completely successful. Status report. Kethma commanded his tactical officer Vextha. All primary population centers have been neutralized, Vextha reported, studying the scanner readings. Energy signatures indicate complete destruction of infrastructure. The planet should be ready for ground occupation within 6 hours. But something was wrong. Kethma had overseen the conquest of hundreds of worlds, and there was always a pattern. Panic transmissions, desperate pleas for mercy, the chaotic energy signatures of a dying civilization. Earth was giving off none of these signals. Where are the distress calls? Kethma asked. Where are the surrender negotiations? Vextha checked his instruments again. Sir, we're detecting no communication attempts from the planet. No energy signatures indicating large-scale casualties. It's almost as if... As if what? Kethma's voice carried a dangerous edge. As if the planet was already empty before we attacked. 3 miles beneath what used to be New York City, Dr. James Park monitored the alien bombardment from the primary command center of Underground City Alpha. The facility had been built over 30 years ago, part of a global network of subterranean cities that most humans didn't even know existed. Surface bombardment is complete, reported Commander Lisa Rodriguez from her tactical station. They're hitting exactly where we predicted they would. Empty buildings, abandoned infrastructure, decoy power sources. General Rebecca Torres stood at the center of the command room, surrounded by holographic displays showing the alien fleet's positions. Phase 1 is complete. They think they've won. Dr. Park, are the acquisition teams ready? James Park nodded, his fingers flying across quantum keyboards. Teams are positioned at all projected landing sites. The moment they touch down, we take their equipment and disappear. The plan was audacious in its simplicity. While the aliens celebrated their easy victory, human teams would steal their technology, reverse engineer it, and turn it against them. It was a strategy that could only work against an enemy that had never faced real resistance. Landing craft detected, announced Lieutenant Sarah Kim from the sensor station. 12 ships, approximately 200 soldiers each. They're setting down in the ruins of major cities. Perfect, General Torres said with a grim smile. They're following standard occupation protocol. They have no idea what they're walking into. The first alien soldiers to set foot on Earth were members of the Nexus Collective's elite guard. They had participated in dozens of planetary conquests, and they moved with the confidence of beings who had never experienced defeat. Their crystalline armor glowed with energy shields, and their weapons could level city blocks. Squad leader Dexner led his unit through the smoking ruins of what the humans had called Los Angeles. The destruction was complete, exactly as it should be. Soon, the planet would be processed, its resources extracted, and its survivors integrated into the collective. Maintain formation, Dexner commanded. Establish forward base according to Protocol 779. The alien soldiers moved with mechanical precision, setting up their equipment in the center of the ruined city. They had no way of knowing that 50 meters beneath their feet, Commander Lisa Rodriguez was watching their every move through sensors that had been hidden in the rubble. Target acquired, Lisa whispered into her communication device, initiating capture protocol. The attack came from everywhere and nowhere. Human soldiers erupted from hidden tunnels, their weapons firing projectiles that should have bounced harmlessly off alien armor. Instead, the crystalline shields shattered like glass, and the elite guard found themselves facing an enemy that fought unlike anything they had encountered. Lisa Rodriguez had studied every piece of footage from the alien transmission, analyzing their armor, their movements, their tactical formations. The weapons her team carried had been designed specifically to exploit the weaknesses she had identified. The bullets were made from materials that resonated at frequencies that disrupted the alien energy fields. Impossible, Dexner gasped, as his squad was cut down around him. Our armor is impervious to primitive weapons. Your armor was designed to stop energy weapons and projectiles from civilized species, Lisa said as she emerged from the shadows. We're not civilized, we're human. Within minutes, the entire alien landing force was either dead or captured. More importantly, their equipment was intact. Dr. James Park and his team of engineers were already analyzing the alien technology, understanding it, and preparing to make it better. The same scene played out at landing sites around the globe. The Nexus Collective had deployed their standard occupation force, expecting to find scattered survivors hiding in rubble. Instead, they found organized resistance forces using tactics that violated every principle of civilized warfare. This is impossible, Overlord Kethma said as he reviewed the reports from the surface. We've lost contact with all ground teams. 12 full regiments, gone without a trace. Vexter was studying the tactical displays with growing alarm. "Sir, we're detecting energy signatures that match our own technology, but the patterns are wrong. It's as if someone is modifying our equipment." "That's impossible. Our technology is beyond their understanding." "Perhaps," Vexter said carefully. "But sir, we've been monitoring human communications during our surveillance period. They have a saying, necessity is the mother of invention. They've had to adapt to survive their own planet. Now they're adapting to survive us." Professor Michael Jong worked frantically in his underground laboratory, surrounded by captured alien technology. As Earth's leading expert in artificial intelligence and quantum mechanics, he had been tasked with understanding the alien systems and finding ways to improve them. "Fascinating," he murmured as he studied an alien weapon. "Their technology is incredibly advanced, but it's also incredibly specialized. They've optimized everything for fighting other energy-based civilizations." His assistant, Dr. Rebecca Chen, looked up from her own analysis. "What does that mean for us?" "It means they've never fought anyone like us before. Their weapons are designed to penetrate energy shields and crystalline armor, but our body armor is made from materials they've never encountered. Their targeting systems are programmed to track energy signatures, but our soldiers move using chemical propulsion and electromagnetic fields." Michael began modifying the alien weapon, integrating it with human technology. "We're not just copying their technology, we're evolving it, making it better, faster, more adaptable." Within hours, the first human-modified alien weapons were being distributed to resistance teams around the globe. The equipment was lighter, more efficient, and deadlier than anything the Nexus Collective had ever created. "Overlord," Vexter said, his voice tight with something that might have been fear. "We're receiving a transmission from the planet." Dr. Elena Vasquez appeared on the screen, standing in what was clearly an underground command center. Behind her, human technicians worked with equipment that looked disturbingly familiar. "Greetings, Overlord Kethma," Elena said politely. "We wanted to thank you for the generous donation of technology and personnel. Your equipment has been most educational." Kethma's crystalline features shifted with rage. "You dare mock the Nexus Collective? We will glass your entire planet." "You tried that already," Elena replied. "It didn't work out the way you planned, but we're not calling to gloat. We're calling to renew our offer. Leave now, while you still can." "You are insects," Kethma snarled. "We have conquered civilizations that were building starships when your species was still climbing trees." Elena's expression didn't change, "and that's exactly why you're going to lose. Those civilizations were probably peaceful, probably enlightened, probably rational. They probably surrendered when they realized they were outgunned." She leaned forward, and Kethma saw something in her eyes that made his blood run cold. "We're not rational. We're not enlightened. We're not peaceful. We're humans. We've spent our entire evolutionary history learning to survive by being more vicious, more adaptably and more stubborn than everything else on our planet." The transmission showed images of human soldiers using modified alien weapons to attack Nexus Collective positions. "You gave us 72 hours to surrender. We used that time to study your technology, understand your tactics, and prepare countermeasures. Now we're going to show you what happens when you threaten our home." Kethma was about to respond when alarms began screaming throughout his ship. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Sir, we're detecting multiple small craft approaching our position," Vexter reported. "They're moving in attack formation." On the screen, Elena smiled. "Did we mention that we figured out how to fly your ships?" Our pilots are very excited to test them against the original models. The battle that followed was unlike anything in the recorded history of the Nexus Collective. Human pilots, flying captured alien craft, attacked with a ferocity and unpredictability that shattered the aliens' tactical computers. They used maneuvers that violated basic principles of space combat, tactics that should have been suicide but somehow worked. They're not following any recognized combat patterns, Vexter reported as another Nexus ship exploded. Their movements are chaotic, random, impossible to predict. Nothing is random in warfare, Kethma insisted. Tell that to the humans. Sir, as the battle raged, Elena's transmission continued. You conquered 347 star systems. Impressive, but you conquered civilizations that had something to lose. They had beautiful cities, ancient cultures, peaceful populations. They surrendered to preserve what they valued. The image on the screen shifted to show the smoking ruins of Earth's cities. You already destroyed everything we built. You've already taken everything we valued. Now we have nothing left to lose, and that makes us the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The final blow came when human engineers, working with captured alien technology, managed to hack into the Nexus Collective's command systems. Professor Zhong's artificial intelligence, enhanced with alien quantum processors, infiltrated their network and turned their own weapons against them. Impossible, Kethma whispered as his own ships began firing on each other. Our systems are impregnable. Your systems were designed to resist attacks from civilized species, Alina said. We're not civilized, we're human. As his fleet tore itself apart, Kethma finally understood the magnitude of his mistake. The Nexus Collective had encountered something new in the galaxy, a species that had evolved to fight, to adapt, to survive against impossible odds. They had awakened something that had been waiting for this moment for 50,000 years. We warned you, Alina said as the transmission ended. We told you to leave while you still could. Now you understand why. The remnants of the Nexus Collective fleet fled Earth space, carrying with them a warning that would echo throughout the galaxy. Never underestimate the humans. Never attack their home. And never, ever ignore their warnings. Asterisk.